So for question 1, it starts off by giving you the cotangent, which is 2 over 7. So you know that the tangent is 7 over 2, and tan is TOA, so its opposite is 7, and then adjacent is 2. And then to figure out what your h is, you have to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you do 2 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. And for this answer, you get the square root of 53. So that's your missing angle. So now you can do your sine. And your sine for this would be 7 over top of the square root of 53, but you can't have a square root in the denominator, so you would do 7 square root 53 over top of 53. And then for your cosine, you would have 2 over the square root of 53, but you can't have, what's that word? You can't have square root in the denominator, so it would be 2 square root of 53 over top of 53. And then you just flip them. So for this, you would flip it, so you would have the square root of 53 over top of 7, and then you would have the square root of 53 over top of 2.
So for problem 2, you have to draw an angle that measures 260 in standard position, and 260 is in between 180 and 270, so you draw a line closer to 270. And then draw the other line counterclockwise from 0 to where it meets. And that's the problem. So question 3 is just the opposite of question 2. Instead, you're drawing an angle that measures negative 25, so you have to go in the opposite direction. And negative 25 is in between negative 90 and 0. And then you draw your line from 0 going clockwise to meet the other line.
So for the next question, you take the angle that they give you, which is 270, and to find what is coterminal with it, you add 360 and subtract 360. So your answer is 630 and negative 90. So for the next question, it's the same thing, just with a negative number. So you have negative 85, and you add 360 to that, and you get 275. And then you take negative 85, and you subtract 360, and you get negative 445.
To convert 230 to radians, you have to set 230 equal to pi over 180, and then divide 230 by 180 on your calculator by hitting math, enter, enter. And then you take that fraction and then just put pi in the numerator. And you get your answer. To convert 4 pi over 45 to degrees, you have to set it equal to 180 over pi. Then you cancel out the pi's and multiply 4 times 180, getting 720 over 45. Then you divide 720 by 45, getting 16 degrees.
For finding Pythagorean theorem, you have to find your b squared, because this is a hypotenuse, so it's 13 squared equals b squared plus 12 squared. And when you do that, you get 144 plus b squared equals 169. So when you subtract that over, you get b squared equals 25. So when you find the square root of that, you get that y equals 5. So to find the sides of the right triangle, you have that a equals 3, and that c, which is the hypotenuse, is 3 square root of 2. So to find it, you have to use Pythagorean theorem again. So you use 3 squared plus b squared equals 3 square root of 2, all of that squared. So 3 squared is 9 plus b squared, And then when you do this, you do the 3 squared, which is 9, and then you have the negative 2 squared, which is the square root of 4. So then from that, you have the square root of 4 is 2, so you have 9 times 2 equals 18. So when you set this up, you have 9 plus b squared equals 18. You subtract the 9 over, and you're left with b squared equals 9. You find the square root of that, which is 3.